Today I will look at this FMS Sky Trainer 182 1400mm wingspan RCR plane. It's a nice scale looking RCR plane. I'm just interested to get this one up in the air and see what it's all about. So let's head to the flying field and talk more about this Cessna later. So finally I have the FMS Sky Trainer to Maiden. I'm just going to line it up and get it going. It's a really nice and easy takeoff. Kind of slow roll, nice loop. So I'm pushing 100%. It's really stable in the air. Of course I have no wind today, so it does help. But still the rolls are not snappy, and it does actually drop quite a lot when you go into a roll. So I set the timer for 5 minutes and flying this on a 3S 2200 milliamp battery. And as usual, I'm just exploring the plane's abilities the first few minutes before going into some more slower flying. But, while the battery is fresh, I like to push them. So, tight turns with a little help of the rudder is no problem, works just great. I think it does have a nice, pleasing sound. And it's very, very easy to fly this. No surprises, just does what you want it to do.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
I think the speed is fine also on 3S. So if you want to do like me, just go around the sky doing crazy turns and going in a direction with this Sky Trainer 182. It certainly is able. So let's just slow down and kick in some flaps.
Landing flaps.
So no, just maybe a tiny bit of ballooning. Now it's actually set the flap to elevator mix to 22% for the elevator, so that's a good starting point. Maybe I can increase it to 25. It's really steady with flaps. Just go straight. Really well behaved flap flying with this Cessna.
Time remaining 1 minute.
It looks really nice. I dig the wing struts and the landing wheels where they make this kind of an X through the fuse. So if you want to go slow and gentle and low, it's a really nice Cessna. Works great, stable.
30 seconds.
I would say the flight envelope is surprisingly good. Not agile when it comes to rolls, but turns and loops, and then good speed. So let's line up for a landing and get it down. Just drop and flare at the end. Oh, nice. A little bit of an odd noise from the wheels, but most wheels with the kind of wheel pans does have a kind of some sort of noise to them. So I mean, it looks great, it flies great, it's easy, this Sky Trainer from FMS. When you first do a Maiden and start to fly an RC airplane, you never know how we're going to handle. So Maidens are always a little bit scary, but I felt right at home from the start with this one. I think the ground handling is good with the steerable nose wheel. The takeover was just super easy. I didn't have to push the throttle too much. It flies so gentle, this Sky Trainer 182. Slow flying with flaps was just super nice, with no real tendency to tip stall, just rock steady. So as far as flying, just more or less fantastic in that regard. I think as this one is supposed to be run on a 3S 2200 milliamp battery, and the ailerons they are not too aggressive. I think the roll rate is maybe the weak spot on this one. Of course, you can increase throw on the ailerons, so that does help because I think the elevator authority is really nice and rudder I had no problem with. So just maybe increase ailerons, the throw on the ailerons on further flights, and I will be satisfied with it. By mistake, I did actually put in a 4S battery in this one, although the specifications I have not seen anything mentioned about if this one can handle 4S. But I did a 4S flight and it was much more agile and fun. So if I would choose, and if the electronics inside will last, I will certainly fly this one more often on 4S than on 3S. So I did feel the EC inside, it didn't get hot, so I think the EC can take it. And on most FMS RC airplanes, the ECs that they are using, their speed controllers, they are in this size, they are at least 3 and 4S compatible. And I know that this one has more or less the same motor as the FMS Kingfisher, and I've flown the FMS Kingfisher on 4S. I know that the motor does get hot if you really push it. But so far the Kingfisher has actually lasted also, so hopefully it will work. And this one does also feature the 3-bladed prop as compared to the Kingfisher, which has a larger 2-bladed prop. And I think the motor sound on this one, the prop sound, is much nicer, so it's actually a really nice sounding RC airplane. I don't like high-pitched noise and I don't like RC airplanes that screams. But this one in my ears is just really nice. So as far as design goes, I think this one looks really much like a real Cessna. It does have a nice scale, stickers and everything. When you purchase this one, there's actually a big FMS sticker on the left wing and on some other parts as well, but I just remove them because I think it's just stupid to have branded stickers on a scale looking RC airplane. It doesn't look good. So I hope that all these that want to have their brands on them, that they can just have the stickers in the box and you can put them on if you like. Because I just think it looks bad really having blaster FMS on a scale RC airplane. And this one does also feature a nice pilot guy inside, so it's the same guy as in the E-flite Mall, for instance. So this guy is used over and over in different RC airplanes. And I think if we could have some more variations on the pilot, it would be nice, because it's sometimes you just feel like I mean, I have my FMS J3 cub next to me, and it does feature the same pilot. So a bit more variation would be really nice. And there are no real good scale details inside the cockpit. There are stickers for the instrument panel, but the chairs inside, they are just in foam base, so it's kind of rudimentary. You can actually remove the cowl on this one. So the cowl is held by magnets all the way around. It's a little bit difficult to remove the spinner because there are like 3 latches, which you have to be careful not to break the plastics. But then you have, if you just remove this front cowl, you can access the motor and cabling and everything, so it's really nice design. A few things, because you can actually tell this is an old RC airplane, because first of all, the wing spar in this, the main wing, goes maybe so far. So there's a large portion of the wing that isn't reinforced with a spar. So I thought about how could I really fix this one, because the wing edges did actually flex a little bit too much. And I didn't want to risk the wings breaking if I would do some aerobatics. So what I did is there is actually a slit where the cables go underneath. So I put a thinner carbon fiber rod inside and just put some white tape. So now the main wing is reinforced. And also the rear stabilizer didn't have any reinforcement at all. So I did actually put a carbon fiber rod and some white tape on top of it. So this one is really sturdy right now, but when you purchase this one, this stabilizer is really flimsy. And speaking about the rear stabilizer and vertical fin, these two pieces are actually glued into place. I think that's a really bad way to have a modern RC airplane, because it does mean that it's more or less impossible or very difficult to actually remove these parts and put it back in the box again, the plane, for storage. Another problem is also the rear fin does actually feature a LED, and the connector for this LED is connected when you actually between the vertical fin and the fuse. So as it is glued right now and somehow got a bad connection, the tail light doesn't work, so that's kind of a bummer. And I also think that the cabling, when it comes to this RC airplane, it's not the greatest, because there is a shaft inside the cockpit, so you don't see the cable, which is a good thing. But it does become a little bit messy inside. And as I've something like the E-flite Turbo Timber Evolution, which has this nice quick connectors for all the LEDs, the flaps and ailerons. I really think that many RC airplanes could actually gain on having easier connection on the wing, because then you easily can remove the wing, and the RC airplane does occupy much less space when you store them. So to access certain parts, you have this rear hatch on the fuse, and inside you have the surface for the aileron, for the elevator and for the rudder. And I also have a Spektrum AR630 receiver mounted, but as I said, the cabling is a little bit messy, and actually the LED lights, they don't have a LED light controller, so they're just hooked up to a spare channel on the receiver. And then you have the battery hatch underneath, which is a really nice space inside to put the battery. So I suppose you can put something like at least a 3S 3200 milliamp battery. And this one does use the XT60 connector. And as I've found out, you can actually just hook up even the Spektrum IC3 or EC3 connectors straight into the XT60. You just have to squeeze them a little bit more, but they do actually fit, so you don't have to replace the connector if you have IC3 or EC3 connectors. So I mean, the greatest thing, I think, it's a really nice scale looking RC airplane. It flies really, really easy. I can understand why it's called a Sky Trainer, because it's just, you know, super easy to fly. Everything from takeoff to landing. I do think that if you have the wrong angle, it will bounce on landings, because these mains, they are kind of stiff, although the front wheel does have this nice spring. So with a little bit of practice, you can actually make super nice landings. But as I said, the flying of this Cessna is just great, and I'm actually glad to actually have finally a Cessna I really, really like, and that flies great. So I hope this one will just, you know, give me a lot of fun and joy, and I will just keep on flying it and try it. If it works great on forest, I will certainly just, you know, have a fun and agile scale RC airplane in this FMS Sky Trainer 182.